Jericho of Fozzy, and you're listening to Backstage Access, where the real show begins, and it starts now.
This is Chris with Backstage Access, and we have the one and only Chris Jericho here with us today. Thank you so much for taking the time to talk with us today. We do appreciate it.
No problem.
So I just wanted to congratulate you first on the success of Judas, the single, because it's just absolutely burning up the charts and playlists everywhere.
Yeah, it's been great. It's been a great 5-month process, and anytime you can get a song that resonates as much as Judas does, and this has been a long process, and it's still growing, so it's a great grassroots movement behind Judas and behind the band, and I think there's a lot of people that are finding out about Fozzy that have never heard of us before, or really had any idea what it was or who it was that we are, so it's very, very cool to be at this position right now and to know that it's still continuing to get bigger and bigger.
Now, I saw that you referred to it as kind of like this is Fozzy's big hit, Fozzy's Enter Sandman. Did you guys have a feeling the song was special right from the start?
Well, you never know how far it's going to go, but as soon as I heard the demo for this song, I knew that A, it would be the title of the record, and B, that it would be the first song on the record. It just had that vibe to it. It had the intro for it, and all across the board, I just knew that there was something special about it. Did I know it was going to go as far as it did, as far as the airplay we've been getting, the amount of views that we've got on YouTube for it? You can never predict things like that. I don't ever really try to, but this is one of those times where you're like, rather than trying to analyze all the reasons why it worked, just sit back and enjoy the fact that it is working and it did work, and just appreciate that.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, the full album is going to be released next week, and I had the chance to listen to it, and wow, it's so badass. It's heavy, but it's also got great melodies in it. What type of sound were you guys shooting for this time out? Is it a continuation of the Fozzy sound?
Well, that's kind of, people always ask, what is the sound of your band? And I would say, if AC/DC and Journey had a bastard child, it'd be Fozzy. And we've really kind of focused in on that, on this record. Really, we're more concerned about the melodies and about the music itself as far as the structure of the song, and not worried of, this one doesn't have a guitar solo in it. That's fine. The song Judas doesn't have a solo. The song
Right.
Painless doesn't have a solo. It didn't need one. And we really learned a lot about what constructs a song and what makes a song strong. And a lot of it is due to Johnny Anders, the producer, who kind of taught us those sort of things. At first, it's hard to give somebody else total control over your record and say, okay, Johnny's in charge. His way goes. And at first, you're like, well, fuck Johnny Anders. What the hell does he know? This is our band, and this is our thing, and we've been doing this for a long time. But then you sit back and realize there's a reason why we brought him along, and there's a reason why we put him in charge. And his influence really was the difference between what we've been doing for the last 3 or 4 records and what changed on this one. I think we both learned a lot from each other, and the proof is definitely there in the songs themselves.
So how did the songwriting process work with this record? Did you and Rich kind of have all the ideas together first and then kind of put them by Johnny?
That's the way it used to go. That's the way it always was in the past. And I sent all my ideas to Rich and Johnny, and Johnny chose the ones he wanted to use, and same with Rich, and then they just started kind of going from scratch from there. So there was a real kind of, I was the guy that wrote all the lyrics in the past for Fozzy. Not the case this time. I think 3 of my ideas were used, whereas before, all of my ideas would be used, or a lion's share. So it took a little bit of okay, that's fine. I'm not writing all the lyrics this time, but that's okay, because all that matters is the quality of the song. And once you realize that, even the songs, if I didn't quote-unquote write them, I'm still singing them. I'm still selling them. I'm still the one that's in charge of making sure that people feel what we're talking about. So it's, like I said, it turned out really, really well, and it was a great process. It took a while, but that's okay. Great things always do take a while. We knew that if we spent the time on this, we could create a record that had, 10, 11 singles on it, just like those great records from Appetite for Destruction and Hysteria and Kick by NXS. They're just single after single after single on the radio. And, when you get that type of results, if the radio scene was the same as it was in the 80s, we would have one of those records. There's so many good songs on this.
Right.
It's not just all about one song. It's not just all about Judas. I mean, there's so many songs in the chamber that Judas wasn't even the overall unanimous first decision for the first single. There was a couple others that were in contention, and now that Judas is still rising, when finally it gets to its peak and it's time to put out the next song, there's 2 or 3 more in the chamber that might even be better than Judas, and that's a good feeling to have.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the whole album is just full of songs that I can see as standout singles. Let's talk about the tour, though. I got to see you at this year's Carolina Rebellion. Do you enjoy the larger festivals that you guys have a chance to play?
Yeah, they're always fun. I mean, we like playing festivals. We like doing our own headlining shows. I mean, festivals are always bigger and badder, and there's people that have never seen you before, and they kind of always watch you with a little bit of curiosity until they finally, you can always see when they finally go, oh, okay, I get it, I understand. So we like that, and we also like playing, Preaching to the Choir is always fun as well. So big stage, little stage, everything in between. We enjoy all the shows. We love playing live.
Right, now you got a few more dates here in the States, and then next week is Fozzy Across America on the 14th. So tell us a little bit about that day and who came up with that idea.
Well, records come and go very fast nowadays. You can tell, so many records get released, and it's all about the first week. What were the first week sales? What were the numbers for that sale for that week? And then it kind of just goes away. We wanted to do something that was completely different and make the record release more of an event. And that's when we came up with the idea of doing 3 shows in 3 days in 3 different time zones all across America. From we start in Fort Myers, then we go to El Paso, then we end up in Las Vegas. That makes this more of an event. It's not just a record that comes and goes. This is a statement of here's what we're going to do to make this stand out and be different from any other record that's released on that day, or even on this month, or even in this year. No other rock and roll band has ever done this before, and we figured, why it might as well be us.
Okay, cool. Now, that could sort of be a headache logistically speaking. You guys have a contingency plan in place, or just fingers crossed for the best?
As far as what?
As far as that day, getting from one place to another and how crazy it can be.
Yeah, we rented a private jet, and that kind of takes care of the transportation right there. So, like I said, I don't know what to expect. I know we start at 10 a.m., and I think we go on to 3:30 in El Paso, and I think 11 p.m. at night in Vegas. It's going to be a long day, but it's worth it. Like I said, it's something that no one's ever done before, and we kind of hang our hats on that.
Yeah, it's going to be very cool. Now, after that, you guys are heading off to Europe, is that right?
Yeah, we'll go to Europe October 25th, I think.
Okay. Now, and then after the European leg, will you be hitting it back here in the States at all in the winter or early spring?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, one thing is we love to go on tour. We got a lot of great songs to play live. Because of the success of Judas, our numbers have gone through the roof as far as attendances,
sure,
all that sort of thing. There's a lot of momentum behind our band right now, so we're definitely going to take advantage of it, and we'll be coming to your town very soon.
Awesome. Now, you're a man who wears so many different hats because you've got Fozzy, WWE, you've got the new book out recently in your podcast. Is it difficult for you to juggle so many things, or you just thrive on keeping busy?
Well, I mean, I got a lot of ideas and a lot of creativity, a lot of things that I want to do. So, scheduling, it's not really an issue because I don't really cross brand. When I'm with the WWE, it's usually when Fozzy is off tour.
Right.
And now that Fozzy's back on tour, WWE's on the hold, so that takes care of that. And the rest just kind of, there's a lot of spare time when you're on the road to do a lot of different things. So that's why I don't like having wasted time. So I like to kind of fill my plate with all these different ideas and stuff that I do. And 9 out of 10 times it's a success, so that's good.
Awesome. Now, I know your focus right now is on Fozzy, but will we see you back in the ring again sometime?
Yeah, I have no plans right now. I mean, I'm sure eventually at some point I'll go back.
Okay.
But for right now, it's all Fozzy, and a lot of other things that are kind of brewing that I've been working on for a long time. So it's a good position to be in. I can kind of come and go from the WWE when I want. And in the meantime, I've got a lot of other cool stuff going on.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for taking the time to talk with us today. I know the album's just going to be huge when it's out. It's a killer album, and have fun on the tour.
Thank you so much. Great to talk to you.
Full on the inside, you are innocence personified, and I will drag you down and set